Welcome to Comics Conversation, where I do my best to guide new Flash comic book readers through the sometimes confusing Flash reading order. I will be going over the Flash run by Joshua Williamson, and this will be a two-part series. But before going over the Flash run by Joshua Williamson, I do want to mention that there is a DC event that takes place before this run, and that DC event is known as DC Rebirth. And many people feel that what comic book fans love about comic books was lost in the New 52, and so the intent of DC Rebirth was to bring all of that back. And in DC Rebirth, a character that was not present in the New 52 returns, and for a while no one remembered that they existed, and eventually they did start remembering them. But I am saying this because this is something that is needed to know to understand what happens later on in the stories revolving around the Flash. And with the character coming up in many books that I will be covering in the future, I will say who this person is, and the person that returns is Wally West. And now going into the Flash run by Joshua Williamson. In this first book, we are introduced to an organization, and their plans continue to cause problems for the Flash throughout these 3 books. And I will leave it for you to learn what this organization's plans are. And now going on to the second book. In the beginning, there is this really great story involving the Rogues, and they end up causing a lot of trouble for the Flash. And in my opinion, this is a really entertaining story, and I think you will really enjoy this. But the thing that stands out the most in this book is the small crossover event between the Flash and Batman, and this takes place between the Flash issues 21 and 22. And this is a 4-issue event. So part 1 is Batman issue number 21. Part 2 is the Flash issue number 21. Part 3 is Batman issue number 22, and Part 4 is the Flash issue number 22. And one other thing that really stands out in this book is that there's this great story with the Flash going up against arguably the Flash's greatest enemy. And during this battle between the two, something that the Flash has hidden from one of his closest friends was revealed to them, and Barry now has to deal with the truth being out in the open, trying to figure out how to get their friend's trust back. Now going on to book 3, the Flash does have some side effects from the battle between his enemy and him, and these side effects are affecting him as Barry Allen and as the Flash, and I will leave you to find out what these side effects are. Now after issue number 33 of the Flash, there is this DC event which is known as Dark Knight's Metal, and one issue from the Dark Knight's Metal Resistance, a side story from that DC event, is collected in here. And I will be going more into which other books collects the event and the reading order those books should be read in the Flash reading order videos that will be released next week. And really the rest of the comics that are in this book are of the Flash just doing his best keeping Central City safe, as well as him dealing with problems that were touched on before, such as gaining his friend's trust back and working with the supporting characters. And before going over volume 7 of The Flash, I do want to mention that these 3 books are deluxe edition books that cover part of the Joshua Williamson run, and what is collected in here can be found in trade paperback books such as these 2. And what's collected in these 3 books are volumes 1 through 6. And now going into volume 7, a character that was introduced in book 1 returns to help out in the Perfect Storm story. And you might recognize the antagonist of the story based on the cover art. And they are aiming to harness a certain energy source, and the Flash has to stop them from doing that. Now this is a slight spoiler, but as I said before, this is needed to know to understand what happens in the other books I will be going over. And when Wally is reintroduced to Iris, she remembers he is her nephew. And now moving on to volume 8, which will be the last book I will be going over in this video. In the battle between the Flash and his greatest villain, Iris did something, and these characters from the future arrived to the present so they can take Iris to stand trial for what she did. Now she is quickly found innocent, and another one of the Flash's greatest villains returns. Now I am leaving out a lot of details for those who have not read it to read it on their own, but what I do want to mention is that I really enjoyed how it is made clear that Wally West is the fastest man alive, and this is touched more on in a book that will be gone over in the reading order videos. And at the end of this book, we are introduced to a new character, but they do not make a full appearance until later on. And that will do it for this video, and I hope that this video has helped you in any way in understanding what DC events take place within this portion of the Flash run by Joshua Williamson. And not only do I hope you stay tuned for the second part to the Flash run by Joshua Williamson, but I also hope you stay tuned for the 3-part series of the Flash reading order, which will be released next week. So thank you for watching.